Hello everybody, what's up, and welcome to the channel where we learn to be true heroes in the game of Overwatch. Today I have another VoD review, and this one sent in by a player named Trickery, and he's playing Mei. So maybe I'm not gonna, that's too cheesy. So maybe we can learn something from his gameplay. So he didn't say too much in the email, except he has a hard time positioning to place good walls while still doing other things. Now, speaking of walls, real quick, walls are Mei's lifeblood. That is like 99% of who she is as a hero outside of when she can use her ultimate. Now, you need to hold on to your wall except for those super cash money moments. And this was obviously not one of them. I'm not going to harp on it too much because it's just one mistake, but let's keep an eye out to see if it keeps happening in this match. Remember, whiffing a Mei wall is basically telling the other team, please push us right now. So that's exactly what they're doing. And actually, Trickery has pretty good aim. He gets quite a few nice shots out in this fight. And even though it's a bit messy, we clean stuff up. So not too bad. Again, like, man, just popping off those headshots. And that's actually really important with Mei. You need to be very good at her right click because aim is everything. You can see he already has, basically he has his ultimate up for next fight. And that's your goal. You should have your ultimate up every fight or every other fight. So thus far, he's managed that quite well. Now we're going to see the enemy's kind of pushing up. He's waiting here, really, really waiting. And now let's talk for real about these walls. This was another missed wall because you need to wait for them to fully commit. I know the Lucio actually baited out pretty well. That was pretty good by the Lucio, but Trickery fell for it. Trickery was tricked by the tricky frog. But a lot of it wasn't necessarily getting baited, just that he was waiting. Look at how tense he is. He's like, wait for it. Wait for it. Like, you're gonna use it eventually. There's no way you can't pull the trigger finger. So let's check out how to properly aim Mei's wall in a game. Actually, a lot of people aim Mei's wall like this. So let's say we want to put a wall on this 10-meter mark. They'll be like, all right, here we go. Let's put the wall down. Ding. And then they'll put the wall down. By the way, come on, Blizzard. What's up? What's going on? But that's not how you have to aim the wall. You have to trust your aim. And people don't like to mess up, so they don't practice this. But Mei's wall actually is completely aimable, and fortunately for Mei players, if you are good at her weapon, because her weapon is kind of flicky, right? If you're good at her weapon, then you are already good at aiming her wall, because her wall is kind of flicky too. So again, let's say we want to do this 10-meter mark, and they're pushing in. Now, instead of having the wall ready and very carefully lined up onto the pixel-perfect position, or even if you do it fast, if you're like a really good one, if you're a really good player, you'll be like, and do it really fast like that. Instead, if you just aim at the ground, if you just aim your crosshair at the ground, you'll do that. So I can just put a wall there by going boop, boop, done. Just like that. And that's accurate enough for any reasonable use you need. Even at strange angles, so let's say I want to wall off that doorway. I don't need to carefully maneuver over there. I just need to be like, point at the doorway, bam, wall, easy. Because it simply works like that. You just have to aim, and that's it. So if you play Mei, instead of going the safe route and very carefully placing your walls every single time, you should go the more, I guess, dangerous route. Like, you're probably going to mess up at first. At first, you're not going to be able to, like, pro 360, go around wall the perfect place. But if you practice actually aiming like that, you will eventually build it up, even if you make some silly mistakes that your team yells at you for in the beginning. And we're going to see that a lot of Trickery's wall issues just come from him being like, okay, I really need to pixel perfect get this wall. But the wall still works out pretty well. They still managed to get the Lucio because for some reason he decided to not skate away. And we're going to clean him up, no problem. So the next fight is about to begin. They're about to push up again. We're going to see just another example of what I was talking about. So the enemy team is pushing up, and instead of being in a comfortable position, so this is actually too close for Mei's range. Mei should be standing a little bit further back because her fall off doesn't begin for 5 meters or so beyond this. But instead of actually focusing on shooting them and being in a good position, he focuses on the wall. Where are we going to put the wall? So he walks all the way up to like melee range to put the wall down, and winds up completely ignoring the Reinhardt, who is slapping him in the face. So he's going to go down, but his team winds up carrying through, and they protect the point yet again. So here we go in the next fight. His Anna nano boosted their Reinhardt just because she liked pretty lights apparently. But we're going to see another time where maybe a little bit more comfort with aiming the wall would have helped him out here. So you can see that this is clearly a very good place to put the wall. And I'm sure he knows that too because he's aiming at the point where the wall goes. But I feel like because Trickery is not doesn't already have the shot perfectly lined up exactly where he needs it with the reticle, that he's too nervous to put this wall down. And if he had put a wall down, that would have been very good because we're about to see the rest of the team stream right in. Now, here would be a very good place to throw the ultimate. Now, Mei's ult is kind of weird. You can't always initiate or always end a fight with it or always counter ult with it. It's really up to your individual. It's always up to the situation, but you definitely want to be using it. Like I said, at least every other fight because it charges so quickly. That's one of the primary things. It's not an ult. It's not like a Zarya ult where you should save it for the real big money time. But instead, we're just going to jump right in here. And here's something that I quickly want to point out because there was a question in the email. He was kind of confused why the Reinhardt didn't get frozen here. I guess a quick mechanics thing. So if you see the enemy Reinhardt gets knocked down, and now he's freezing the enemy Reinhardt. So at this point, even though the animation doesn't show it, this Reinhardt is both frozen and knocked down at the same time because they stack. So he actually just wasted the frozen debuff here. Because if you see when it gets up, he's stunned for a fraction of a second because there's a little bit more duration, and then he gets unfrozen. So it's not that he couldn't freeze the Reinhardt there, it's just that he stacked the freeze with another stun. But that was a little bit of a side note. Anyway, he didn't use his ult, but still the team is now he uses the ult, I guess. So at that point, it was almost unnecessary. But we're still going to pull through. Our team's going to do just fine, and somehow we're going to manage to live through it. So now the problem with using the ult at the end of the fight there, so if you use the ult at the beginning, sure, you can't gain ult charge while it's active, but you can still gain ult charge throughout the rest of the fight. So you have the potential to have your ultimate up at the next fight too. So although I said you can use it at the beginning and the end, it's situational, using it at the beginning does have the advantage of being able to charge your ultimate. Back to positioning, however, Mei is actually a mid-range fighter, even though her primary fire is close up. Now, her ice gun, her left click, is only for those 1v1 scenarios where you're close up and you can get that easy pick. But in a fight, you'll see when she gets too close, she just gets absolutely slaughtered. So you really want to keep that. How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to mid-range and spam those icicles because otherwise it gets a little bit dicey. Plus your left click takes way too long to freeze in the middle of a fight and way too short of range. So here again, he's going to have his ult up again, that is. And again, he's not going to use it. So the cart is presumably they're fighting this fight for the explicit purpose of stopping the cart from reaching the checkpoint, because otherwise there would be no point to fight up here. You might as well fight further back. But we're not going to actually go and contest that. We're not going to use our ultimate. We're just going to sort of let them have it for free. You can see they just took the checkpoint. So this fight at this point, this fight is completely pointless. Literally nothing that the blue team can do on defense is going to matter because they already got the checkpoint and they already got the forward spawn. So at this point, I guess save your ult. But it definitely should have been used a little bit earlier. He's going to be revived now, and I hope he doesn't use his ultimate. See, this is an example of what the ice gun is good for. When you're in those positions where it's just you and another player isolated, it's very good. Now, for this last checkpoint, he chooses to continue to do this sort of side flanky thing where he's away from his team. Now, Mei is absolutely not a flanker. As I've said about multiple heroes in the past, it's kind of a theme, I guess, talking about it. And even though she's behind, she gets the freeze off on the Reinhardt, but you see it doesn't really do too much. She winds up taking a lot of damage, and in general being not very effective. She doesn't get a chance to charge much of her ultimate off. When she finally does get the ultimate off, it's a little bit late. Her Mercy is forced to res. And so if he was just with his team, he would have been able to charge faster, get the ult off faster, and maybe saved a res from his Mercy there. We're going to see another sneaky play by the Trickster. He's going to be behind, and then McCree's actually going to get a pick, so it's 6v5, making him a little bit safer, but still, we're going to see he's doing a little pokey poke. Gonna do a cute wall off in the Reinhardt, not really necessary, but you know, why not? And the Anna's going to take him pretty low, and we're seeing how we're in a bit of danger, even though his team is absolutely destroying right now, beyond destroying, absolute full team wipe. From his perspective, it looked like they were losing because he was in such a dangerous spot that he was able to get like almost solo fragged by the Anna. So again, stay with the team. And doing that gives you a much better angle to wall off as well, because remember, your wall goes this way. I mean, yes, you can switch it to go this way also, but that's a lot more awkward. So if he was over here, he would have this angle, which is exactly the type of wall that you want. But the game is winding down, so let's see one more fight. Again, we're on the side here. We're in super mega danger, and I mean, I guess they couldn't kill him for some reason. That was some spaghetti aim, I think. Let's see. The McCree's gonna come up, stun him, miss. All right. Well, clearly the Trickster had some mind games going on for that fight. I don't know, but his team's gonna wind up cleaning up again, no problemo. But he didn't actually do too much in that fight himself, because being a distraction is generally not sufficient to say that you're having an impact. Now, he did say that this was a somewhat organized in-house, so they are actually communicating pretty well. It seems like they know each other or something like that, and we're gonna have a nice little bit of synergy here. Inject some positivity in. So most players, I probably would as well, because the knee-jerk reaction is, sorry, ult, immediately drop your ult. Most players would just be like, Q, let's make it stop. But actually holding on to it until just before he died, because he pops his ult right then, synergizes very well with the res that was about to come out. So that was a good bit of synergy right there. I'm gonna res. He knew that he was gonna be resed, so dropping the ult right before he died, so that when the res came up, the enemy team was frozen. Very nice. But anyway, the game is almost over. Looks like his team is kind of low. We're going into overtime. Mei is obviously the king of overtime. He came into this fight with 60% ult. Let's keep an eye on that. We're gonna do some hoppity, shootity. And looks like, bam. Well, actually, wait for it. There you go. Ultimate in 7 seconds, charged 40%. The heal is actually pretty good for the ultimate as well. So again, just showing off how quickly it charges. I'm sure everyone knows that. And of course, drop the ultimate. Oh, there it is. Now, normally people are too trigger happy, at least that's what I find, but in this case, our hero needs to be a little bit more enthusiastic about ulting especially, and using walls, and just more confident in general. Don't play quite as passively. But at the same time, keep good positioning, stay with your team, and stay at the proper right-clicking distance, which is about mid-range, and I think we'll be fine. So I got a great response from you guys regarding potentially doing a stream this week, or maybe even make it a weekly thing, where I go over the VoDs that I wasn't able to put on the channel, and just do general Overwatchy hangout things, answer questions from the chat, things like that. So I will be doing it Saturday night at 7 o'clock. It'll be right here on YouTube, so if you're subbed, you'll just get a notification anyway, and it should be awesome. I'm really excited for it, and if you can't make it, like I said, it's on YouTube, so the VOD automatically gets recorded and uploaded to my channel anyway, so you can check it out anytime. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, maybe learned something, maybe even had a little bit of fun. So good luck in solo queue. Have a great day. Peace out, guys.